happening in Atlanta, and what are your plans to do something about it?
You cannot feed all this mainstream media. We have to get the real good information. We got to get that because they're hiding it from us.
Family. It's time to resurrect our minds.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. Guys, you are definitely going to want to like and share this episode. Let me know before we get started, seriously, before we get started. Let me know how the video quality is. Let me know how the audio quality is, whether you are joining me on Instagram, I see you up there, or whether you guys are joining me on Facebook or on my website or any of the other platforms. I see you. Good morning, Susan, Avril, Rutho, Tish. If you guys don't see some people on here who need to be on here, like it and share it. I'm so excited about today's episode. So good to see you guys. And I'm waiting on y'all to tell me, yes, God morning, Rutho. I'm waiting on you all to tell me whether or not you are able to hear me and see me correctly, because I realized that last week there was some issues, like a couple issues last week we had. The issues we had last week were with the audio, but it looks like I'm looking good and sounding good. We get up there, Instagram. All right, good. Welcome to Unfiltered with BC Wright. I am actually going to just go ahead and jump right on into it because we have so much going on today. But first, I would be remiss if I did not say thank you to each and every one of you who are subscribed on our different platforms. Good morning. I see you over there, Jamie, on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We are on YouTube. Please like and share on all the different platforms. It just helps to get the word out. And we appreciate you guys so much, with more coming soon. Let me explain something to y'all, especially with everything that's happening with censorship and the YouTube CEO coming out saying that they do only promote videos that they believe in, something like that. We'll talk about that some other day. But I appreciate you guys and I appreciate your support. So that being said, we're going to jump right into Today in History. And of course, we are having a giveaway later in today's segment, sponsored by none other than Tyson Thompson. So we appreciate her coming through again to make sure that you all are able to receive funds. So, and last week, whoever it was, I'm still waiting on you to send me your contact information. I could not find it. I would like to send you the money that you won. So stay tuned for us later. But let's talk about today in history. Y'all, welcome to December. Like, really, can y'all believe that we are in December already? This year has flown by. It is December 1st of 2021. So let's talk a little bit about today in history. So one of the things I want to do is, before we get into like the main thing today in history, do y'all remember when I came back and I told you all that we needed to pay attention to what was happening with the metaverse and that people were going to be able to make money buying digital real estate, not just land here physically, but digital real estate? Well, guess what happened recently? A plot of digital real estate sold for $2.3 million on the metaverse. A plot did. So the metaverse race is heating up and they're expecting it to get even bigger. The image you guys are seeing before is what Facebook expects their metaverse to look like. But there's more than one metaverse. So I want you guys to see this. It's like you're going to be in the computer. It's like some crazy Matrix stuff going on here. Like, that's you walking around talking to people, doing stuff. It's so weird. But I'm talking to you about it because of the fact that there's an opportunity to make income in it. I see you, Rutho's like, that is crazy. It's totally crazy. Not just the metaverse and the reality of it, but the fact that land plots, digital space that you have access to right now while it's inexpensive, is going to be sold for millions of dollars. So Grayscale is one of the largest holders of cryptocurrency, right? They're estimating that the metaverse has a potential to become a 1 trillion annual revenue opportunity. We're going to talk about this in detail because you all need to get you a small piece of digital real estate. Hey, Jennifer, a small piece of digital real estate. But that being said, what is today? Today is Rosa Parks Day. And I put up there, be brave. Why? Because that's what Rosa Parks did. Today is Rosa Parks Day. It was back in December 1st of 1955, you guys. This is when that famous moment happened. On December 1st of 1955, she was a seamstress. She was living in Montgomery. And she made history. Why? Because she was tired. She just got off work. She's like, I'm sitting in this seat in the front. I am not giving up my seat. She refused to give up her seat for a white passenger. So, of course, she was arrested, kicked off the bus, and that started a part of the movement. And so today is actually Rosa Parks Day, and we do call her the mother of the civil rights movement. But do you know what's interesting is that, this was all about her refusing to give up her seat. And because she was sitting towards the front of the bus, have y'all noticed that we always still want to ride the back of the bus? Like, why do we still ride the back of the bus? We want to sit in the front of the plane, but we want to ride the back of the bus. Y'all sit in the front. So thank you, Rosa Parks on this particular day for everything that she has done. And let me turn this off. Who is texting me? Okay, so listen, let's get to the main show. Y'all, the main show today that we're talking about is conspiracy theories, okay? Thank you, Jackie, for sitting in the front. Is conspiracy theories. That's what's now showing. That's what's now showing on all of your favorite television stations. It's what's now showing on every single page that you go to, right? Is conspiracy theories. And when I look up, y'all see I'm looking at my friends on Instagram, they're talking about conspiracy theories. So what is this? Like, what is it really? Like, what does it really mean? Why are we talking about it? We need to understand it a little bit more. Because why? Because it tends to be running the country, right? Let's talk about some of the conspiracy theories. There's a theory that the election was stolen. So we had what happened on January 6th happened in our country. There are theories surrounding the coronavirus and whether or not the things being injected into people are nanobites, are there tracking devices? There are protests even in countries about the 5G and saying how the 5G is doing things to our body, and that might be connected to the digital things that are being implanted. Those are nanobites. So nanobites are a thing, just so you guys know. They can microscopically implant things into people. And there are some people who are voluntarily getting implanted. There are over 13 states right now who are proposing laws to keep employers from microchipping their employees. That's a thing. So you would have thought like 20 years ago, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Nothing like that would ever happen. But some of these things are a thing, but we tend not to believe them because the word conspiracy theory has been stigmatized, right? We're always looking for what? We got to see the smoking gun. Like, you got to show us the evidence. And so the interesting part about our requirement, our demand, our right to see the smoking gun is this, that there sometimes isn't evidence of something happening until there's evidence. Some of the stuff that we hear today reminds us of like a fiction story, something you see in Scandal, where you have these fixers running around covering up a little bit stuff. And in America, you think about it this way, when elections are stolen in other countries, what do we call it? We call it a coup. In America, we call it a conspiracy theory. Why? Because it makes you stop asking questions. I'm not saying what did happen. I'm not saying what didn't happen. I'm trying to get us to tap into the conspiracy behind the term conspiracy theory. So just like Jerry Maguire, we want to know, where is the money? We're asking, where is the evidence? People do not hide smoking guns in plain sight, or do they? I want you guys to run over here with me, and we're going to do a little run back in history here. I want y'all to pay attention to something real quick, because this was thought to be, it could have been a conspiracy theory because there's no evidence until there's evidence. Watch this.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people.
And then the dress happened. So, okay, there normally isn't evidence until there's evidence. So here's the deal. There are some things that we know for sure happened, right? But there are other things that we don't. And we're going to take a little quiz today. But before we do that, I want to show you guys this picture. And this is an interactive conversation we're having today because we're going somewhere with this. I need you all to pay attention to this. Does anybody know what this picture in front of me represents? And for my friends on Instagram, you're not, I see you laughing, Jennifer. Yes, that was very funny. You know, this picture, I'm showing a picture, and if you're on Insta, I'm sorry you can't see it. I feel like I need to get cue cards and just hold them up for you guys to be able to participate in this Q&A discussion part. There's a picture of a white gentleman injecting a black man in a certain season. Does anyone know what this picture represents? If you do, type it in the chat for me, but momentarily, I'm going to just start talking about it. What that picture represents is something that actually happened, that for a long time and before it happened, people would have never thought something like that could happen in our country. This happened in 1932 when the Public Health Service, working with the Tuskegee Institute, began this program in Macon County, Alabama, right? This program in Macon County, Alabama, where they were calling it the Tuskegee study of untreated syphilis in the Negro male. And they were telling them that they were treating them for bad blood, which meant things like anemia and stuff like that, right? But they were not doing anything but studying how long it would take for people to die who were untreated with syphilis and documenting the evidence and pretending to be treating them. In fact, of the hundreds of people in the study who actually had syphilis, they didn't cure it, even though they found out years later that penicillin could cure it. They did not give it to them because they wanted the study to go on, because they wanted to collect the data. We've already found a cure, but we're still collecting the data. So you have not only these men who are dying from syphilis, right? Because they're being told the information is being hidden. But then they're giving it to their wives. And then you have their children being born with it. And so this thing goes on and on and on. Did y'all know that that lasted 40 years until a reporter discovered it and blew the top off of it? And it was unethical. And of course, then what followed were these congressional hearings and things like that came afterwards, right? But those are some of the things that we have to pay attention to, because before it happened, most people would have been like, oh, nothing like that ever happened. And I'm sure even when it came out, people were like, oh, they're just trying to cause discourse. It's conspiracy theory. But the president of the United States came and apologized for what the American government had participated in and said that it was unethical. So on today, as we dive into what conspiracy theory is, we're going to take a quiz. I want you all to tell me whether or not you think you can identify what is or is not a conspiracy theory. But before we do that, I want to make sure that we're all operating under the same definitions. Y'all game? Yes? Yes? All right, let's go. So let's take a look at what the definition is. A conspiracy theory is defined as a theory that explains an event or set of circumstances as a result of a secret plot by usually powerful conspirators. Sometimes that's the government. The example they gave was the conspiracy theory surrounding Kennedy's assassination, right? Also, a theory asserting that a secret of great importance is being kept from the public. So either a secret is being kept or there's a secret plot behind it and people are conspiring. So that is the definition of what a conspiracy is. So now we're operating under what the actual definition of what a conspiracy is, right? So here's the deal. People conspire all the time. Like if I come into agreement with you to do something, we're in a conspiracy. Have you guys seen all those crime shows where people are charged with conspiracy or being a party to the crime? Almost every state has laws against being part of a conspiracy because people in general tend to conspire. But the word conspiracy theory tends to make people push back and say, oh gosh, nobody believes that, whether we have evidence for it or not. So today we're going to do a little true or false to see whether or not you, the people on Unfiltered, can identify a conspiracy theory when you see one. So that being said, I am going to put this up. So this is our true or false button right here. And after you answer it, I'll tell you if it's true or if it's false and the origins. So the first question of the day is, the CIA ran secret mind control experiments on US citizens. Is this true or false? The question before you today is whether or not the CIA ran secret mind control experiments on U.S. citizens. Is this true or is this false? I see one person saying true. I see a lot of truths. Don't tell me we got a bunch of conspiracy theorists on here. Even though that's a word we should probably stop using. So we got a couple of truths. We got a couple of truths. I see you. I see you. Okay. Everybody believes that the CIA ran secret mind control experiments on United States citizens. So everyone is saying that it's true. And let's go to the clip. And this company just happened to do an amazing job, by the way, of summarizing whether or not this was true. Jackie says it's false. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Before we go to the tape, anyone else? The CIA ran secret mind control experiments on U.S. citizens. That is the question on the table. Okay, because I see some of you are lagging behind, so I wanted to make sure that you guys were able to catch up. And I want to make sure I am pulling up the right video. I believe this one's it. All right, let's see what the answer is. The answer is true. The answer is true. The CIA did run secret mind control experiments on US citizens. That was a news outlet who put that video together. The music got on my nerves, but they did a really great job at summarizing what happened. But you know me, I want to go dig through the stuff for myself to see, did that stuff really happen? And I know you all expect me to do that. So that's exactly what we did. So what we're going to do on today is go over to the documentation. What you all see in front of me is called Project MK Ultra. This was the CIA's program on behavioral modification, right? And they've already had a joint hearing in the Senate Intelligence Committee where the documents are here. And I just wanted to show you that these documents actually do exist. And they're talking about the testing and use of chemical and biological agents. They're talking about truth, drugs, and interrogation. They're talking about what happened. But the interesting part is that they were focusing on, hold on, I need to highlight this for you guys here. Hold on. They're focusing on events that happened over 12 or as long as 25 years ago. And it should be emphasized that the programs have stopped. And what they're trying to do is make sure that this does not happen again in the future. Like, this is what the Senate hearings aimed to do. But here's the deal. And if you guys want to read this document, you can. I'm going to scroll through. It's pages and pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of all the stuff that was done to different people. In fact, victims in Canada are asking for reparations. They're asking to be paid back for it. So this is actually something that did happen. And you know who else participated in the study? The Unabomber. While at Harvard, he was a participant in this study, but he says that's not the reason he became the Unabomber. Okay, so now here we go. The next thing on the true or false, okay, is whether or not the US military drew up and approved plans to terrorize US citizens in order to incite a war. We're asking today on Unfiltered whether or not you can just identify a conspiracy theory when you see one. Is this a conspiracy theory or not? Did the US military draw up and approve plans to terrorize US citizens, people like me and you and innocent children and things like that? Did they draw up plans to terrorize US citizens in order to incite a war? Did this happen? All right. Did this happen? I got Tish, you said you couldn't see all the words. I understand. I have all the documents, and I'm telling you, these things are like 100-page documents. So if you guys want them, get in touch with me. I'll be happy to send them to you. But I just wanted to show you that they actually do exist. We got false on the military drawing up and approving plans to terrorize U.S. citizens. Tish believes they'll do anything. We got Marguerite coming in with a true. All right, come on, come on, come on. What is your answer? Do you believe that the statement in front of you is true or false? What is it that you believe regarding whether or not the military drew up and approved plans? Nanette says, is this the Soviet Union? Good morning, Christina Callwood. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Susan says it's false. For you guys who are just joining us, we are asking whether you can spot a conspiracy theory when you see one, and this is group participation. The question on the table right now is whether or not the U.S. military drew up and approved plans to terrorize U.S. citizens in order to incite a war. And the majority of the people are saying that it's false. The majority of the people are saying that it is false. I got you. I got you. I got you. So with that being said, I have a couple of screens going here, so you have to excuse me. So with that being said, the answer to the question is going to be true. The answer to the question is true, and we're going to go to the documents. There was an operation, and it was called Operation Northwoods. And these documents have, of course, become unclassified because you guys know under our Freedom of Information Act that after a while, documents are unclassified. And I forgot to tell you in that previous case where they were talking about the CIA doing the studies in mind control on citizens, then that they had destroyed half of the documents before they turned them over. So we really don't even know how bad it was, you know, the extent to which this went, right? So in this particular case, it was called Operation Northwood, and this was an operation that was presented to President Kennedy by the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He presented it to them for the purpose of being able to incite a war with Cuba. That is what they did. All the documents are out there. And here's what they had in mind. What they had in mind was that innocent Americans were going to be shot dead on the streets. Boats carrying refugees fleeing Cuba were to be sunk on the high seas. A wave of violent terrorism was going to be launched in Washington, D.C., Miami, and potentially other places. And people were going to be framed for bombings that they did not commit. And planes were going to be hijacked as a part of this plan. Okay. So this plan, if you all want to look it up, is called Operation Northwood. So here are the documents and the notes by the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going fast, so you're not going to see all of it until I get to it. They state, of course, in the documents what the problem is, the discussion on the different things they can do. And here it is. Hold on. There's a memorandum attached, and here it is. Because down here somewhere, there's a complete list. Okay, here it is. Pretext to justify U.S. military intervention. The course of actions which follow are a preliminary submission suitable for planning purposes only. They're not arranged chronologically or in ascending order. And then they proceed to give a list, including, let me make this bigger. so you guys can see it. See that? Start rumors using clandestine radio, land friendly Cubans in uniform over the fence to stage attacks on the base, capture Cubans, friendly saboteurs inside the base, and start riots near the base with friendly Cubans. Their plan was to blow up ammunition inside the base, burn aircraft on the base, lob mortar shells inside the base, capture and assault teams approaching from the sea onto Guantanamo City. So sabotage ships, sink ships near the harbor, and then the U.S. would respond by doing the things that they could do. Blow up a ship. We could blow up a drone, which could have been an airplane. We could develop a communist Cuban terror campaign in Miami. Okay, like all of this stuff is here, the list of things that they plan to do. Fortunately, our president at the time was President Kennedy, and what he said was, we're not doing that. So this was planned by our hijacking attempts. You guys can see all the different stuff that's going on in here. So this was actually planned as a solution by our military in the era of Kennedy. And it was called Operation Northwood. So Operation Northwood. Now, it didn't go forward, but it was planned and approved and submitted as a plan. It didn't go forward because that particular president said no. That president said no. What this is right here is called a false flag. So we're going to go to our definitions because I want you guys to know what a false flag is, since we're talking about conspiracy theories as well. A false flag is a hostile or harmful action, such as an attack, that is designed to look like it was perpetrated by someone other than the person or group responsible for it. That is what a false flag event is. This is called a false flag, making it look like something happened or pretending somebody else did it or blaming a certain group. And no. So our third and final question for today, we're going to switch agencies on you here. It has to do with the FBI. The FBI was complicit in the assassination of several members of the Black Panthers. True or false? Hello, thank you guys. I see y'all on Instagram. Thank you for joining us. If you want to actually see the cards, join us on Facebook or join us on YouTube. But you guys, this is the last question to see whether or not you're able to spot a conspiracy theory when you see one. The FBI was complicit in the assassination of several members of the Black Panthers. Is that true or false? It's a rumor that we've been hearing since we were young, right? We've been hearing, at least I had heard about it, and I was like, oh boy, bye. So is this true or false? Ruth said that's a good one. So can you spot a conspiracy theory when you see one? And then we'll talk about why using the word conspiracy theory is probably not the best idea, because conspiracy theories can do what? They can sometimes later turn out to be facts. Former conspiracy theories, future facts. I see you. We have a mixed bag here. We have false, true, false, true. Come on, I know some more of you guys participating in it. The FBI was complicit in the assassination of several members of the Black Panthers. Is this true or is it false? You decide. I am going to give the answer. Most of you are saying that it's false. Most of you are saying that it's false. All right. You guys ready for the answer? Here we go. So we're going to go over here to the answer right here and hopefully play the right tape. Let's see. No, we're going to play that one later.
There's only one thing left for you to do. You know what it is. This is an anonymous letter sent by the FBI to Martin Luther King, urging him to commit suicide. He was one of the primary targets for the FBI's illegal surveillance program in the 60s called COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program which targeted many civil rights groups, such as the Black Panthers and the American Indian Movement, and activists like Stokely Carmichael and Malcolm X for more than a decade. The purpose was to, quote, expose, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, and otherwise neutralize the possible threats against the existing order. The program was exposed in 1971 when a group of activists stole documents from an FBI office on the night of the Muhammad Ali-Joe Frazier fight and leaked them to the press. Today, COINTELPRO is something people recall from the past as the darkest FBI program exposed so far.
It's actually true. So that video is telling you about a program called COINTELPRO, Counter Intelligence. I don't want to say it wrong because I always say that. COINTELPRO. That's why you write stuff down. Here's my notes. Are any of you guys surprised by that? How many of you are, tell the truth, how many of you guys are surprised by that? True American Indians too. Rutho says, no way. Yes, way. The third one is actually true as well. There's an article in the Huffington Post that called my attention to this, that talked about the fact that, they broke into the FBI offices and stole documents. And this is how we found out about COINTELPRO, right? And so we found out about this. I was a part of this. Okay. And it went to court. And think about it. And actually December 4th is the anniversary of when 13 Chicago police officers went in and killed 2 of the Black Panther members, but they were working in conjunction with the FBI, who had given them a diagram showing them where the different bedrooms were. And there's different documents showing that they had infiltrated the Black Panthers and all of these other organizations. So let's talk about COINTELPRO, because there's been a hearing on that too, right? So there's been a hearing on that as well. There's documents in there showing that they were harassing King and sending him letters. They were trying to remove him and take him out of the national picture. There's documents showing that they were influencing the SCLC offices. There's documents showing the floor plan of Fred Hampton's apartment as drawn by the FBI informant, and they're cooperating with the Chicago Police Department to go into the apartment. And a court went this close to saying that they're complicit in the assassination of people who are a part of this movement that they didn't agree with. So here are actual documents, and it's called the Counterintelligence Program against Black nationalists, which they called hate groups. I encourage you all to actually read these documents. There's so much stuff in it, but I want to show you here. The letter to King is in this one, I believe. And there's letters about the divisions in the party. Like, they had plants everywhere. They were doing all types of stuff. And here is the letter to King that you heard about in that video that you guys just saw. It's written from the FBI. In view of your low-grade, abnormal personal behavior, I will not dignify your name with either a Mr. or a Reverend or a doctor. Interesting. So this is the threat letter to him, right? Here is out of the Baltimore office, where they're talking about the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, where they've opened an office. A racial source of this office has probably been identified. They were taking pictures of King as well as Elijah Muhammad, as well as Cassius Clay, who you guys know to be Muhammad Ali. And they're talking about the progress they're making, but they're also talking about how to subvert it, and did things to subvert whatever was happening. That's why it's called the Counterintelligence Program against Black nationalist hate groups, specifically anyone who was about freedom. So here we go. In this one, they were recommending to give an attached item to the news media or a news media source on a confidential basis as a counterintelligence measure to help neutralize extremist Black Panthers and foster a split between them and the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. They orchestrated it. They were the ones who were behind it, right? And so then you have here a new suggestion. I mean, there's so many suggestions, but here's what I want to show you. Here's the diagram of the layout of the floor plan of the apartment that they gave to the police, who then went in and killed the Black Panthers. It's there. It's there. It is there. It is there. It is there. And it actually happened. So our question on the table was today, could you spot a conspiracy theory when you saw one? And before doing my own research, because these documents have been released, they say if you want to ever hide information from us, all you got to do is put it in writing. We ain't going to read it. And so it's there, it's in writing, right? But the interesting part about it is we've got all these current conspiracy theories, but the truth of the matter is, because of the things that have happened before, it makes it where people just don't trust and people just don't believe anything. So that's the conspiracy behind the conspiracy theory, right? The best way I've heard it said, and I'm gonna pull up my notes here because I want to make sure I say it right, is by an article I read written by The Conversation, put it the best. They said the net effect of terms such as conspiracy theory and conspiracism is to silence people who are victims of the conspiracy or who, right or wrong, suspect conspiracy theories may be occurring. It is a tool used to silence people because what do we do when someone says, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist? We shut it down because we don't want to be called a conspiracy theorist. But here's the truth. To characterize someone's belief as a conspiracy theory is to imply that it's false. It's basically saying you're a liar. But more than that, it implies that you're not smart. It implies that you're irrational. It implies that you're crazy. Do you guys remember you've seen it before, right? Where a guy will call a woman crazy. Like the woman will complain that he did something and the guy will be like, oh, she crazy. Don't pay her no attention. And the whole conversation will shut down just because somebody was called crazy. And women do it to men too. Have y'all seen that before? It's kind of the same thing that happens with conspiracy theories and we shut it down. But why are we shutting down debate? What's wrong with a little bit of healthy skepticism, especially considering the fact that former conspiracy theories have turned out to be future facts? So I'm here to tell us on today that we have to be careful when we say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, I'm not listening to it. Maybe the question is, well, why do you say that? What brings you to that conclusion? Maybe there is no smoking gun, but you might have a basis for why you believe what you believe, right? Because crazier things have happened, as we can see. So here's the bottom line. We don't believe our government will do stuff. I'm not going to say we, some people don't. It's like we don't trust them. Some people don't trust the government, but then we put limits on what we believe they're capable of. The government is run by people. That's it, Tyson. Do your research. It's run by people and people are people, right? So just pay attention and be careful. The next time you think about calling somebody a conspiracy theorist, just think, I wonder if. True or false? That being said, guys, it's time to jump into our giving segment. I hope you guys learned something on today. Of course, I know you did. I know you did. I know you did. Welcome. Be blessed, guys. Welcome to December. Welcome to December. Welcome to December. We had a November to remember, a December to remember as well. Welcome to December. Cheers to you guys for making it this far in the year and still being here with me. I appreciate your support. And it's time for a giveaway. We thank Tyson Thompson for being our sponsor on today, as well as Blue Phoenix Enterprises. And you know how we do. I'm going to put up a graphic. It's going to give you about 60 seconds. And you guys are going to put up a number between 1 and 100, and we're going to send you some money. All right, let's go. Okay. I see you. Avril said yes. She gained some wrinkles in her brain today. Hashtag stay woke. I see you all. We are going to, it looks like we're going to have a runoff. Why y'all copying each other? So we're going to have a runoff on this one because 3 of you are very, very close. The number on today is actually 13. Right there at the top is 13. I just picked up a card and the first number I saw, that's what it was, because y'all tried to figure out my pattern last year. So we're done with that. So the number is actually 13, and there are 3 of you who are close to it. That would be Rutho. That would be Christina. And that would be, Christina, did you not win last week? I think I need your information. And that would also be Charlie. I think those are the 3 who are closest to it, who gave the number 12. So I need the 3 of you to give me a number between 1 and 10 as I close out my thoughts. And let me write down what that number is going to be. All right. Give me a number between 1 and 10. I need a number from Rutho. I need a number from Christina Callwood. And I see you up there, Gifty, on Instagram today. You gave 52. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I need a number from Charlie. So guys, and whoever the winner is, make sure that you send your information over to me at beblessed@bcwright.com. Let me put it on the screen right now to make sure that you all do not forget to do that. Please send your information over to me so I can make sure. Oh, that's funny. It is not on the screen. Maybe that's why. Make sure that I can get that over to you. So let me go back to the chat. Rutho coming in with 7. I'm waiting on you, Charlie. I'm waiting on you, Charlie. And I'm waiting on you, Christina, coming in with 9. I'm waiting on you, Charlie. I'm waiting on you, Charlie. All right. So as we close out this segment, did you guys enjoy yourselves today? Did you all enjoy participating in whether or not you could recognize a conspiracy theory? Did you all like learning about the fact that why we maybe shouldn't even be using the term, right? Because we all conspire. There are conspiracies happening all the time. And like, even I think about attorneys at law. The person we're waiting on now is Charlie. Charlie, I need a number between 1 and 10. When I think about like the law, right? When people get together and do a crime, it's called a conspiracy. And I had to have a theory around the conspiracy. Congratulations, Charlie, coming in with the 4. The number is 5. $100 goes to Charlie. There has to be a theory around it. But when we put those words together, all of a sudden we've got this major, congratulations, Charlie. Congratulations, Charlie. We've got this major theme around it. And now it's a conspiracy theory. Y'all, we better stay woke and we better pay attention, because as they continue to unveil more documents under the Freedom of Information Act, as they continue to declassify more things, don't find yourself surprised. Don't find yourself surprised. Always ask why. Why do you think that way? Why do you believe that way? Right? Conspiracies even happened in the Bible, y'all. Don't act. Key example, Absalom conspired to overthrow his father as the king. He was sitting back solving people's problem and saying, bring everything to me. Y'all remember, y'all know what I'm talking. Where are my Bible readers at? There is a conspiracy since biblical days. So of course men conspire. We're just doing it on a bigger scale. So whenever we use that term, we have to really think about it, because it stops us from wanting to look deeper and stops us from wanting to investigate. And for those of you, I'm gonna leave you guys on a fun note with a fun video. For those of you who believe that even the election fraud thing is a conspiracy theory, everything is that until you find evidence of it. It's like when you believe, I feel like some people who believe the election was stolen, it's like when you know your boyfriend is cheating on you, but you can't pin him down, right? You can't find the evidence. You don't know what it is, but you just have this feeling that it's just something ain't right, okay? So I feel like it's sometimes just like that. And sometimes people are like, it's just my gut instinct. It's not a conspiracy. It's just your gut instinct that it may or may not be. Because there's been a lot of things that have happened on TV and then turned around and happened in real life. So I'm going to leave you guys with a thought from none other than Scandal. And then we're going to say goodbye. So thank you guys for joining us. And you guys enjoyed this clip from a blast from the past right here on Unfiltered.
Say you vote for Rustin Howard. The individual receipt would look fine. You never know your votes were stolen. You vote Rustin Howard 5 times.
5 receipts that all read Reston Howard.
But the final tally, the one the voter never gets to see, that would show you what actually got sent to the Board of Elections.
That's your smoking gun.
And that's how you rig an election.
That was one of my favorite clips from Scandal. And using that just an example too, you never know. Thank you guys for joining us. Until next week, be blessed and stay woke. So talk to me a little bit about this crime wave that's happening in Atlanta, and what are your plans to do something about it?
You cannot feed on this mainstream media. We have to get the real good information. We got to get that because they're hiding information.
Family. It's time to resurrect our minds.